All right, welcome to the Stash and Shaggy podcast. I'm your host, Stash. This is my co-host, Shaggy. How we doing today, bud?
Good evening.
We got some good sports on the weekend. We got the PGA Championship that is just going on right now. They're finishing the second round. We got F1 tomorrow. We got UFC tonight. What else we got? We also have horse racing. What day is the horse racing on?
Today we got
Today.
got the Preakness tonight.
All right, we got the Preakness tonight. Let's go ahead and start with the PGA Championship. Though,
Did you mention the NHL, the playoffs?
Look at me, I'm already messing up. Who we got? We got the Canucks and
The Oilers. Yes.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's start it out with the PGA Championship real quick. They're finishing the second round right now this morning as we're recording. Xander Schauffele's in the lead. Schauffele's playing really well. I'm looking at the odds. I like Thigala's never won an event before. He's playing good. I like Thigala at plus 1,400 to win. I think those are good odds. And Rory is pretty far down the field, but he has a really good third and fourth day usually, in my opinion. He's sitting at -5. The lead's at -12, but you can get Rory at plus 3,300. So I put a little bit on Rory at plus 3,300. I put a little bit on Rory at top 5, and then I bet Thigala to win. Those are my bets for the PGA
I like Thigala.
Championship.
I picked 3 players to get in the top 5. I also got Thigala. I also picked Victor Hovland
Victor Hovland, yes. He plays good. I like Victor Hovland.
to get into the top 5, and also Colin
Morikawa.
Yes, Morikawa. He's been excellent, making the long putts, making holes.
He also looks good. Never won a championship before, but this might be his year.
Yeah, I picked those 3 guys to get into the top 5 at plus 1,580.
All right, not bad. All right. We're not big golf guys, so let's go ahead and move on.
Yes, feel free to pick and choose what you like. We're just here to help.
And we'll move on. I want to go ahead and hit F1 real quick. Max Verstappen has won, I think, 19 of the past 27 races, and he's not looking so hot this week, which is why his odds have dropped down to -125. I feel like you just got to bet -125 on Max, and I also got Charles Leclerc top 3 at -200. I think that's also a really good bet. Leclerc could win if Max falls off, but if you want to sprinkle a little bit on Leclerc to win, I like that too. They're doing qualifying right now. And let's see. Let's go ahead and do the Preakness. Switch it over to you. What do you like for that?
Yep, for the Preakness, I'm not really too knowledgeable into the F1. I leave you for that, and I take your advice on the F1.
Yep. Same thing with the Preakness. You go ahead.
Yeah, I have been pretty good with the horses for the Preakness.
You have been pretty good.
With Mystic Dan winning the Kentucky Derby, that was a close race.
That was a fun race. That was a fun
fucking.
race. I'm not really a horse racing guy, but that ending was insane. Dude.
Like a picture. They needed to check the picture 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, it took a minute to find the winner on that one.
But Mystic Dan, I don't think he's going to take this one, to take the Preakness, but he's in there. I'll put him at the top 1, 2, 3, one of those positions.
Hi, girl.
For an underdog, I like Toucan Gold. I think he was at plus 800.
Okay.
I could pick him for a good underdog. You can go for a trifecta, 9, 5, and 2. And also an underdog, you can pick Uncle Heavy. He sounds fat and slow, but he could pull it off.
Uncle Heavy is an interesting horse name. That's for sure.
So, Imagination, that's a fast horse. Yeah, I think he was on the top 3 on the Kentucky Derby.
And that is part of your 952 trifecta?
Yes, I think 952 being Imagination, Mystic Dan, and then Catching Freedom.
Okay.
Would be the trifecta for my Preakness.
All right.
What other sports do we have for the weekend?
Let's go ahead and hit the NHL hockey real quick. And
playoffs.
Hockey's interesting because last weekend, my friend over here hit a plus 3,300 parlay.
Delightful.
Very nice. I like it. So what do we like this week versus the Canucks and the Oilers?
Well, the Canucks, this has been a great series.
By the way, congratulations on your plus $3,300 parlay.
I liked it.
Another reason why you should follow us.
Yeah, so for my NHL playoffs, man, everybody's been doing good. Kane has been coming up and just been
Evander
destroying.
Kane. Yep, Evander Kane has looked good.
Scored once last week. We're not last week, last game rather. So I put together just a couple parlays. The first parlay, we got Evander Kane with a goal. We got TJ Miller with over points, over a half a point. Brock Bozer, we have him for a goal. And Zach Heyman for a goal. That's a 4-leg parlay at plus 29.35.
Okay. I like that parlay.
That's not pretty good. That's pretty good.
I like Miller. He's been doing good.
Yes. So on this other parlay that I have for the NHL for the Canucks and Oilers, this one's at plus 400, and it's not necessarily a team or a player. It's what's going to happen. So I picked 3 things that's going to happen in this game. I picked that there's going to be a goal in the first 5 minutes. I think they're tough. They're just really getting in there. We got the highest scoring period to probably be the second.
Okay.
The first has been iffy in the playoffs. Usually it's like 0-1, 1-1. But sometimes they just get out there in the second round. Boom, boom, boom.
I've noticed that too. I agree.
And then once they start getting up to the higher series, like game 6 and 7, I feel like there's a lot of overtimes. They're trying to get that win. So we got also an overtime. That's a 3-leg parlay for the overtime, goal in the first 5 minutes, and the highest scoring period to be the second. I took that at plus 6,400. We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Is that what you got for the NHL today?
That's all I have for NHL.
I am probably just going to throw JT Miller and the Canucks to win the game. The Oilers have been injured a little bit, and they don't look like they're as hot as they have been lately. So I'm going to go JT Miller to score and Canucks to win.
You think it's going to be a high-scoring game, low-scoring game?
This series has been pretty high scoring, so I'm just going to lead with what's been happening, and I'm going to say high scoring. I'm not taking the over just because I'm really not sure. I'm just taking Canucks to win because Oilers are a little injured, and I'm taking JT Miller to score because the dude's been on fire, but he has not scored in the past 2 games. He's only gotten some assists.
I understand. Give me a score for this game.
Ugh, all right. You always do this to me. I'm going to go 4-2 Canucks.
4-2 Canucks. I like that. I like that. I'll go 4-3 Canucks.
All right. We both are on the Canucks. All right. Let's go to UFC Vegas, Barboza versus Murphy.
Yes.
I am going to run through these fights. If I do not like a bet, I will say the fight real quick and then just skip it. So you'll know that I'm not liking anything here. The main event, Barboza versus Murphy.
Clobbering time.
Barboza is super good, deadly, like he's fast. He has really good kicks, probably some of the best kicks in the UFC. Murphy is 13-0-1, crisp boxing, not really good wrestling. Luckily, Barboza's not going to wrestle him. This fight's kind of hard to pick. I'm just going to go ahead and skip that one. Next one, we got Chaos Williams versus Carlton Harris. Chaos Williams is a big power puncher. I expect him to get a knockout in this fight. Carlton Harris does not have the best chin. He does not have the best boxing. He is a wrestler. He's going to try to wrestle. Williams has good takedown defense. I'm going to go Williams inside the distance on this one for plus 165. Next fight, we got Garimbo versus Brahimaj. Brahimaj is new, doesn't look great. There's kind of like a story to this card. I feel like a lot of this card is people that have there are big prospects in the UFC, but they lost like their last fight or maybe their last 2 fights. So it seems like the UFC is kind of throwing them a bone, and that's why a lot of these odds are like minus 400, minus 500, minus 300 because they're trying to throw these up and comers some bones and give them some easy fights. Garimbo is an up-and-comer. He looks good. Brahimaj does not look good. I'm going to go Garimbo by knockout for plus 135 versus Brahimaj. Next fight, we got Adrian Yanez versus Salvador. Same story. Yanez is a really good look up-and-comer. fighter. Salvador is not. He's older. He's slower. He's just kind of coming in here for a paycheck, in my opinion. Yanez by knockout. We got Angela Hill versus Pinheiro. Hill's a little older, but she's basically that chick that just beats everybody that isn't a top contender. If you're not a top contender, they throw you Angela Hill. If you get past her, then you have a chance at a title fight. If you can't get past her, then you stay down at the bottom. And I don't think this chick is getting past Angela Hill, so I'm going to go Angela Hill by decision versus Pinheiro. And you liked Hill also, right?
I did, but I don't.
You didn't bet that one. That's right.
I didn't bet her. I like her, but I wanted to bet her for a submission, but I wasn't too sure.
No,
so
she wins most of her fights by decision, to be honest with you. And Pinheiro is probably just going to fight slower. And Hill's just going to work her on the round. She's probably going to take 2 out of 3 rounds. Win by decision is my opinion. Next fight, we got Martinez versus Nolan. The odds on this fight are insane because it's one of those same scenarios again. Nolan's an up-and-coming guy. He lost his last fight. He's facing Martinez, who he's just getting thrown to the wolves, basically. Martinez has bad striking, bad defense. Nolan is a good striker. I'm going to take Nolan by knockout, but like I said, the odds on this one are a little questionable.
Yeah, Nolan, I think, was at minus 490.
Yeah, minus 490 for money line. I think by knockout you could get him for like minus 165, which still is a little pricey in my opinion. I'm just skipping this fight. No bets. Vidal versus Gatto. Low-level MMA, low-level heavyweights. You'll notice I just skip these fights a lot. No bets. Magomedov versus Alves. Magomedov had that fight versus Son Strickland where he looked super sharp in the first round and then completely gassed and basically fell off a cliff. He's facing Alves, who also is going to fall off a cliff. Both these dudes have terrible cardio. This fight will not go the distance. I would suggest betting under 2.5. I think Magomedov is going to win. So if you want to take Magomedov inside the distance, you can get that at like minus 110, minus 120. I like that bet. Rodriguez versus Carnelossi. Carnelossi is going to be my one and only underdog of the fight. Usually I have a little bit more underdogs. This is a very heavy favorite card. So today she's going to be my one and only underdog. I think she's stronger, faster, tougher than Rodriguez, and she's good price at plus 190. So I'm going to be taking that. Alateng Hey Lee versus Rodriguez. I don't have a pick for this fight. It's just a really close back and forth battle. I do believe you like Rodriguez, right? Hudson Rodriguez. I think he was in one of your parlays.
Yes. I had a 3-leg parlay with him in it, along with the Thimba Kimbo for a knockout and Tom Nolan for a knockout.
Okay, so you got Nolan, Rodriguez, and Gimbo all by knockout?
Not Rodriguez, just a win by Rodriguez, but
okay.
The other 2 by knockout.
I do like that bet. Nolan is a little wide, but like you said, you took him by knockout, so I'm sure you got better odds there.
Yeah, I got it for plus 962.
All right, last fight, Ducote versus Demopoulos. Once again, same thing as the Gatto fight, low-level MMA. No bet. And that is it for the UFC card.
Yeah, you got a lot of UFCs. You're pretty good at the UFCs.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. I went 7-9 last week in UFC, so not too bad.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I did lose the parlay because that minus 1.5 went over.
Did you put together any parlays for this big list?
I do have a few things that I like to parlay. I did pick, I'm trying to remember the odds. I picked Garimbo, I picked Williams, and I picked Magomedov.
Just all to win straight up?
All to win straight up, and I think my odds were plus 425, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. Anything else you got?
That's it for me, man.
I think that's done for me.
All right.
Enjoy your weekend betting.
Let's win some money.
Hope you do.
Come back and see us next week.
We got more picks.